Centurions and weekend warriors. Trade a murderer for a pacifist. Render unto Caesars that which is salad. And remember, the real crucifixion was the friends we made along the way.
Friends, Romans, croutons. It's time to talk Tull to me.
Very nice.
I'm really proud of that one. Whew, okay.
Welcome back, I am Omen Thomas Sade.
And I am Nick McGill.
Together we are Feckless Momes.
And this is Talk Tull to Me.
A moment of calm reflection in the ravaging mob of prog rock, in which Nostrum Nick and Oblivion Omen will offer wine vinegar to every single song that righteous rock band Jethro Tull has ever nailed to a big stick. We will make sure that Scott Hammond is comfortable as he rides an ass one last time. We will sing felicities to the flagellating Florian Opal. And we will wrap John O'Hara tightly in strips of linen. And I thought we left him right here, Nick. Did you see? We did leave. It was here that we left him, right? We just went away for 1 minute to go get the herbs and the spices. Ugh.
There was a big boulder, everything.
This is just like Ian Anderson. Ian can't stay in one place, Anderson.
Yeah, we pinned him down with flutes and nothing.
Nick!
Omen.
Here we are talking about another Jethro Tull song on the album, The Zealot Gene.
That indeed we are. It is track number 9. We are getting up there. 9 out of 12. This is Where Did Saturday Go?
I just realized something.
What's that?
There are 12 tracks on this album. One for each of the disciples.
Month? Oh. Yeah,
Parts of a clock. I don't know.
I mean, maybe we'll have to talk to John about, like, which disciple is this?
No, I don't mean that one of them corresponds to each one.
Okay.
I just mean the number 12. As soon as you hear the number 12, yeah.
The magic number, yeah.
And the listener is Jesus.
We get to be Jesus at the Last Supper. I think that's what we're going for here, right?
Let's be Jesus and have a listen to Where Did Saturday Go?
Everybody be Jesus.
Everybody be Jesus. Nick McGill.
Where did my soul go? Where did my pneuma go? What a lovely song.
What is pneuma? I assume it has to do something with the lungs because of the way it's spelled, pneuma, but what is it?
It's close. It's the spirit or soul, and it's basically the breath. You believe the spirit is in the breath, so pneuma.
Wow. Yep. So all of those pneumatic tools that I've used throughout the years, they're actually using compressed souls to deliver nails.
There's a soul in each one. Wow. Every time you put a nail in,
that's a soul.
This is a soul, yeah. Kind of expensive to run.
Yep.
So sorry.
Nick, this is a great song, and we're going to talk about why.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Give it to me. No, go ahead.
I love Ian's guitar playing so much, and I just feel like every time that I think it couldn't possibly get any better, more intricate, more subtle, more conscious, he just goes up another level.
It's ridiculous, that man's acoustic playing. It's so lovely. So lovely. It carries such character and such a story with it, regardless of the song, and he's been rocking that acoustic for 70 years. I mean, he started when he was 4. He's like, what is he, 78 now?
He's, yeah, I don't think he...
Somewhere around there. So not 70 years, 60 years. Close.
As much as the flute stands out in this song, I feel like the guitar almost outshines it. Not that you can compare, not that you can say this instrument is better, but
Yeah.
really we only have 3 instruments here. 4, technically.
Correct.
We have the amazing acoustic guitar. We have Ian's delicious flute.
Double flute.
A double flute.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Goodyear.
Are you... We're talking about bass here?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it in one. Very good.
We have Mr. Goodyear on the bass doing some really... I'm so glad the headphones that I listen to stuff on now it's really good with representing the bass.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful how on some lines he'll have one note. Dum dum da da dum bum.
It's very subtle, yeah.
And sometimes he's doing more complex things, jumping around within a scale. Dum 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 dum.
Deeply regrettable, somewhat predictable.
And it's so clean. I think that Goodyear must be the cleanest bass player that we've had
I mean,
in Tull.
that's not outside the realm of possibility. However, let me posit to you, this is an Ian at home song, and he has credit for playing the bass. Boom. How do you feel about that one?
I feel unsettled. I feel nervous. So this could be Ian on the bass.
Well, okay, so he's not credited on the bass, particularly on this album, but we know he's played the bass.
He's plucked a bass or two before, but
It's probably David, yeah.
I think this sounds like David Goodyear.
Yeah, I do not want to take that away from him. And I think we have, as subtle as it is, and as of all of the instruments on this album, they all really stick out. They're all pretty darn well balanced, I think. But
Yes.
The bass is always so difficult to hear a lot of the times. However, when we do, I feel like we're getting some character from him. I feel like we're getting a rough idea of how he plays. And I think going forward into the next album, Rock Flute, that we'll hear more of it, that we'll experience more of it.
Development.
Yeah.
Development of character.
And I think it'll stand out more given the fact that we just listened to the album.
We'll know what to listen for.
And it's pretty prominent. It's pretty prominent. I think the mixing on that is even better. We can pick through and hear the instruments even better, including the bass. Come back in a month for that one.
Let's talk about the 4th instrument on this track.
Is it the claghorn?
It is not. It rhymes with schmamborine.
I forgot the schmamborine was in this.
It's subtle. There's just a
Yeah.
couple. There's one moment of
Yeah, that's got to be Ian.
I
Without a doubt.
think so.
I know that man's Tambo, and that's it.
After Deeply Regrettable, we have Ian doubling the voice, like you mentioned. A really lovely harmony.
Faintly implausible, quite unmissable.
The fact that he's singing a little lower, the harmony is even lower than that, then you have the bass underneath that. It is this kind of almost subterranean feeling.
Yeah.
A little bit of the underworld creeping up through this monotheistic song.
Yeah, it fits. It moves into your soul before you even know it's there.
You're shining a light into a dark cave and not quite sure what you're seeing, but somebody is touching your butt. And you like it.
And it's Jesus.
And it's
Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus, embrace me. Oh.
Right after the first But Where Did Saturday Go, we have some, well, I guess technically the second Saturday Go. After some Saturday Go, we have some really lovely guitar harmonies. That gives way to the instrumental, which is just a delight.
I want to pour that over my ice cream. It's so good.
This song is in, Nick, any guesses?
No.
3/4.
I was gonna say 3/4.
Why didn't you?
Because I've said numbers before, and you've been like, "That's not a time signature." So I was like, 3/4 is not a signature, right?
It is a signature.
God damn it! I was gonna say 3/4.
Bum dum dum da da dum 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 da ka dum.
Second guess. Third, I 3/4 guessed myself.
Now there may be a measure of 2/4 in there. There's maybe a little kind of catch point at some point, but not regularly. Most of it is in a pretty straightforward 3/4 time signature, which gives it that kind of cheerful feeling.
Yeah, it kind of lilts. It really fits the sound that we're really hitting through the bulk of it here. It's light, it's airy, it's taking what could be a very dark, depressing, macabre, morose subject and really kind of making it like a, okay, this is happening. And yeah. And I mean, we've got words like savage and wicked and regrettable and unmissable, crashing. We've got really strong word choices in here. And it really does. I think we've been talking a lot about the light and the dark in this album.
Oh, yes.
Really, really fits that. And in this instance, it's not dark sound, light lyrics. It's the other way around.
Yes. Fun thing to point out at the end, we have a repeat of a one-word repeat. Ultimate Prescience, what a performance, but where did Saturday go? Go.
It's a one-line repeat and then a one-word. 'Cause it's
where did Saturday go? Where did Saturday go? Go.
But where did Saturday go? Where did Saturday go? Go.
We'll talk more about this in the second half, but this is really talking about the resurrection. This is like the story of Easter Sunday, what has become Easter Sunday.
Sure.
And I'm excited to talk about like how the dates work out and all that, but it's arguably the most important date on the Christian calendar.
Sure, yeah.
And I think what we in modern times maybe lose sight of, although not that I've been to a lot of Easter services recently. Oh, I did go to one a while ago, and there was precious little Jesus involved. Is this feeling of the mystery. There's so much mystery. And what I love, Ian is remystifying the Bible. He's re-enchanting the Bible with this album. And I freaking love it.
He's breaking it down into its constituent parts and really taking those nuggets of story, of lesson to learn and turning them into a pearl. You know, he's chucking it inside of a clam, or an oyster rather, and he turns it into a pearl. Mm-hmm. Was that too much? Was that a bit of no, it worked?
No, it was great.
Okay.
It's great.
Thanks.
Nick, anything else to say musically about this song?
Just lovely. I mean, I really do genuinely enjoy the two flutes. They're just close enough to sound almost the exact same thing, but there's like just half a step apart, and it's nice. It's really lovely. It's a really nice effect. Ian strumming plus his plucking. This song, I think, really nestled in between. Well, the whole second half really starts to lighten up again, but this song nestled in all of this heavy stuff. It really, honestly, I think it could have gone on the Christmas album, and I wouldn't have thought twice. I feel like it fits there. It'd be on the Easter album, but still sonically.
On the Easter album, yeah.
Sonically, it fits, I think.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's great. It's a real gem in this album.
Yeah. It's the start of a triptych of gems, really.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Welcome to the creamy middle section of the podcast. And today we are going to be doing a little spotlight on keyboardist John O'Hara.
That's right. You should have gone with Cadbury egg, the cream of the Easter. Right, those are Easter, right? Yeah, they must be.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
No, never apologize for correcting my puns, my jokes.
For punch-ups. Never apologize for punch-ups.
John O'Hara, in addition to being the keyboardist for Tull, he's also an orchestral conductor, accordion player.
Cool.
He grew up in North Wales when, in the early 1970s, he joined the National Youth Orchestra of Wales.
The National Uke Orchestra is just like a bunch of kids playing ukuleles.
After his studies, he joined the Rambart Dance Company in London as a percussionist.
Cool.
So he studied percussion, drum kit, and piano.
Wow.
And toured with them for 5 years. He worked for theaters in bands. He was the composer, musical director for the Bristol Old Vic. And in that position, he learned a little about the bass guitar, the flute, the trumpet, and the trombone, and the accordion.
Wow.
Around 2003, he met Ian Anderson and joined a tour. He also worked on Rupee's Dance and has been involved with Ian ever since.
I have a technical question for you.
Technical away.
Does playing the piano almost instantly translate to playing the squeezy thing? There's additional, like, way more coordination and stuff, but...
It's relevant experience, but it's not a one-to-one transfer. Part of the thing with the accordion is you have the keys on this side that are like a regular piano set, but you're playing it this way instead of this way, so you can't really see them.
Yeah.
Then on this side, it's all buttons.
That's
it's all the
right.
little buttons.
I forgot about that.
That's very different.
I think I want a concertina.
I think you do want a concertina.
Make Rook dance around. We'll get money in the middle of Ithaca.
Yeah,
Commons.
yes, great. A little other note on some of his non-Tull projects. In 2004, John O'Hara was commissioned by the Welsh National Opera to compose a children's opera.
Oh, cool.
That went well. They commissioned another 2 pieces for him.
Wow.
He's also composed for wildlife documentaries, dramas, and he's produced 2 albums, one of smooth jazz. He also teaches at Bristol University and Bath University and is a guest tutor at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama.
When does he sleep?
He is so involved
Prolific.
in the theater.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen a bit of a trajectory for a lot of these folks. I mean, Dee did orchestrations for ballet and opera, and I feel like we heard a couple of other folks who kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call it their side gig per se, but like beyond Tull, they kept their musical thing going by like, not just like playing in another band, but going full orchestral or conducting or...
And I would actually invert it. I would say that at this point of Jethro Tull's musical complexity, you need essentially an orchestral background or a classical music background.
Right.
And what an amazing background for Tull to have been in theater, opera, dance, percussion, composing, all of that just to play the keyboard in Tull. He's clearly bringing that experience. He's clearly bringing that sense of movement and drama and epicness. So really amazing. John O'Hara, we tip our hats to ye. Yeah,
John O'Hara, great job. Amazing history, amazing present and past, and very cool. Very excited to hear more of your stuff on Rockflöte.
And very exciting to move on to the next portion of this here podcast episode.
My fingers are sticky with Cadbury cream.
Wow, didn't get it.
Didn't work. It didn't work.
I get it. I get it now.
Yeah.
Nick, where did Saturday go? We, of course, have our Bible verses.
While you are pulling that up, I will tell everybody that it is Luke 23, 52 through 56. Not a big one.
Okay, so this is after Jesus has been crucified. It's talking about a nice gentleman called Joseph of Arimathea.
Heard of him.
He was a devout man and was waiting for the kingdom of God. So, this man went unto Pilate.
Pilate.
This man went into Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. And he took it down and wrapped it in linen and laid it in a sepulchre that was hewn in the stone wherein never man before was laid. And that day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew on, and the women also, which came with him from Galilee, followed after, and beheld the sepulchre, and how the body was laid. And they returned, and prepared spices and ointments, and rested on the Sabbath day according to the commandment. Okay, so before we go any further, we have to talk about the Friday, Saturday, Sunday situation here.
Okay, go on.
The Sabbath we think of in a Christian context, we think of the Sabbath as Sunday.
Correct.
But 'twasn't so.
Tweren't.
And in fact, the Bible specifically tells the reader that Saturday is for resting. Therefore, Sunday is actually the beginning of the week. Now, I find that very confusing when it's on a calendar. I prefer that Monday be the first day of the week. But in terms of religion, in terms of what the Bible actually says, and especially what the Jewish tradition was, which is what they're operating under, Saturday is the last day of the week. It is the seventh day on which you have to rest in order to follow the commandment. And Sunday is the first day.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was they crucified Jesus
Yeah.
on Friday morning, I think. And then Friday evening, they got him down, put him in the hewn tomb of rock, and then we're like, oh, we'd love to keep doing this stuff, but we ran out of time, and so we have to go home and rest. Sunday, they came back to finish the job, to anoint him, to do all the stuff with the herbs, and
Like, where's Jesus, Scoob?
Jinkies! So, where did Saturday go is also, it's sort of like Jesus replaced Saturday with Jesus.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting there. I mean, you observe the Sabbath to respect God, to honor God. Jesus is a third of God, and therefore he is part of the Sabbath. I mean, there's like a bit of a web to get there.
No, that's a really great way of articulating it. And perhaps because no one was looking, because everyone was devoutly observing the Sabbath,
Yeah.
that miracle was able to happen in the most mysterious way possible.
Pix or it didn't happen, I think is the phrase, right?
That is a phrase, certainly.
Nobody watched the back door when he's like, okay, coast is clear. And he just trucks home.
But they also did, there is all this specific referencing to him being dead.
Yeah, of course.
The howl of the pneuma, the last breath remaining.
Yeah.
But let's go through the lyrics.
Weren't the Romans guarding the tomb? Am I making that up?
I don't think they were guarding the tomb.
They certainly weren't observing the Sabbath, but I think at that point maybe they just didn't give a shit because they actually killed him.
I think they were guarding the crucifixion site
That, yes.
to make sure nobody cut them down.
Yeah.
Where did Saturday go? Lost in a whirlwind, heady passion, long faces hang so low.
Where did Saturday go? Lost in a whirlwind, heady passion, long faces hang so low.
So this is coming up on the Friday description.
Mm-hmm.
If you read a little bit further in each direction, there's a whole section where the women actually, I believe, discover the empty tomb first. Mm-hmm. And they go to the disciples and they're like, oh my gosh, this crazy thing has happened. Jesus isn't there. And the disciples are like, you silly women.
You're saying reading in the Bible itself, not the lyrics, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
They're like, you are all not to be trusted, and what you're saying is implausible.
Because you women.
So we have to go and look for ourselves. Exactly. And then they're like, oh, actually, something strange appears to be happening
Hey,
here.
women, did you see what I just discovered? The
Pretty
tomb
much.
is empty.
Yeah. Friday felt so alive, savagely, wickedly entertaining.
Friday felt so alive, savagely, wickedly entertaining.
Now, Nick, why would it be entertaining?
Is that the Last Supper? Or did that happen before that? Was that like the day before?
I believe that the Friday is the crucifixion.
Oh, that's right. So people went to beheadings and death sentences as entertainment.
Yes.
Literally as entertainment. I'm sure the Romans were there and they were eating their popcorn and their moldy bread. They dug that shit.
Yes. So the interesting thing about this is, and this is something that I'd never actually clocked because I'm a heathen, but, I'd always heard, Pilate.
Pontius Pilate.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure it is, Nick.
Pilate was the
Pilates.
was the bad guy because he was like, yes, we should crucify Jesus. He defends Jesus like 3 times. The beginning of this chapter, it says, the whole multitude of them arose and led him unto Pilate. and they began to accuse him, saying, "We found this fellow perverting the nation." Sound
Yeah.
familiar? And forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ a king. And so Pilate questions him, and Pilate ends up saying, "I find no fault in this man."
This guy's actually pretty cool. Have you listened to him? He's pretty cool. No!
Yeah, and so the crowd, including the local priests, are literally calling for his blood.
Yeah.
And eventually Pilate's like, I don't know, let's have Herod examine him. It's this whole process.
Yeah.
And eventually he gives in and he says, "Okay, fine. Fine, we'll crucify him."
He got peer pressured into it.
He literally got peer pressured into it.
He got constituent pressured into it. Ultimately, it's a politician bending to the ear of his people, and
Is you or is you not my constituency?
I love that show. I love that movie, rather. That is
What is that?
Oh, Brother,
Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
Is you is, is you ain't my constituency. Is you ain't my constituency.
So, savagely, wickedly entertaining watching comeuppance arise.
Savagely, wickedly entertaining, watching comeuppance arrive.
Very interesting. So the implication is he had it coming.
Yeah, we see a couple of those references in here, yeah.
There were also some other criminals.
2 more.
Yep.
Just like common thieves, I think. I don't think there were anything terribly special. I mean, this was a common sentence for death. Yeah.
Right. The howl of the pneuma, the last breath remaining for bucking the system.
The howl of the pneuma, the last breath remaining for bucking the system.
That's right. He dared question the system, and therefore they made an example of him.
It's interesting, they're citing the crime that they're accusing him of is saying that we shouldn't pay taxes to Caesar. But my understanding was that Jesus said, "Pay unto Caesar what is unto Caesar. Pay unto God what is unto God."
I think he was comparing that Caesar's just a man. Caesar's not that important. God is God. He deserves more of what you pay, and what you pay for God is not a couple of coins, although we take 10% of your income.
I thought it was give your money to Caesar, give your soul to God. Your money doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Yes, I think it's also saying how much more important, like the value of your soul is more important.
There we go.
So you can throw all your money there. You're giving what is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he puts it in a nail gun. Right?
He does.
He does, yeah. Ascending the rostrum. What's a rostrum?
I don't know what a rostrum is.
It's kind of like a pulpit. It's where you go up and address people. Occasional tantrum, flipping a table, saying like, "Come on, guys."
Chucking the moneylenders out of the temple.
Offering nostrum.
Nostrum, Pater Nostrum is our Father who art in heaven.
The Pater Noster, yeah, it's Latin for our, but obviously this wouldn't be, nobody's offering the Our Father now, right?
It's just the our. It's just the us offering us.
It's actually a nostrum. I had to look it up because I immediately thought the Our Father.
I've got 2.
Offering nostrum?
Plural of nostril. Okay, what is it?
Apparently it's like just a snake oil salesman's cure. It's not a legitimate cure, and it's something that like people, it's like a folk cure or something that people go to.
Oh, so that's in reference to him curing the blind and aiding the lepers and all that.
And this whole paragraph is from the point of view of the people or Pontius. These are your crimes. You offered nostrum. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty potent.
But where did Saturday go?
Ascending the rostrum, occasional tantrum, offering nostrum. But where did Saturday go?
My favorite line is ultimate prescience. What a performance.
Yes.
Oof.
Ultimate prescience. What a performance.
Ooh, it's so dark, He knew this was going to happen. He had to do it.
He had to go through with it. He had to perform the act.
Yeah, I think, oh yeah, we talked, definitely talked about that in Betrayal of Joshua Kind. Same thing. Like we said earlier, it's such a light sound for seeing both sides of the story a little bit. But it's not necessarily like saying Jesus was in the right. It's not saying that the Romans were in the wrong. It's really just a retelling of the story here.
It is, and I think what I appreciate that it brings to that story that we've heard over and over and over again, oh my God, is that sense of, for the people living it, you know, okay, Jesus is crucified, he gets put in the tomb. I think that for everybody involved, that is a very final thing. For the Romans,
Right,
for
yeah.
Pontius, it's like, all right, we've taken care of that, put that whole weird rebellion stuff to bed, that's done. For the followers of Jesus, it's like, well, it was a good run. We had some great stories to tell, but it's over.
Yeah.
And then what we end up with is this massive doubt on both sides.
Yeah.
Must have been very unnerving for the Romans when they found out about this, and maybe easy to brush off, but still like, wow, thought that we kind of
It didn't stick?
put a nail in that,
Yeah.
not so figuratively. And for the faithful, I think it's maybe a confirmation that, yeah, this guy was the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure it certainly swayed a couple of people who were on the fence.
Well, and that's the whole premise of Christianity is that Jesus died for our sins.
Right. Yeah. He literally made miracles happen. Well, literally, but literarily made miracles happen. What better way to prove that you've got God's backing than to use the power of God to make a bunch of fish sandwiches or come back from the dead
That's the big one.
or walk on water?
You know, figuratively, yes, we can say he died for our sins, but also, like, did he not die because of the sin of wrath that multitude gave against him, and he didn't even defend himself?
Now you're talking two different types of sin.
Yes. Well, there's lots of different types of sin.
Just watch me.
Just
They're apples and oranges. So that's like, I guess for lack of a better term, that's like old world sin. The new world sin is 10 commandments. The old world sin is sloth, wrath, envy, dopey, Doc,
yeah, interesting.
Rudolph.
But also, sin can be possibly interpreted as weakness. The weakness of the people
Right, yeah.
who accused him, the weakness of his followers to defend him, the weakness of Pontius.
Pilate. Like a pilot. Like I'm flying Jesus to
not
the
s-
cross.
It's not spelled the same. That's
Correct,
what gives
it's
me
not.
pause.
Pilate. Yeah, it's like it's lowercase sin, lowercase s sin, as opposed to uppercase.
Anything else to add about this song?
I'm going to ask what I've asked the last couple of times, and you're going to pull something really clever out because you have done so.
I don't know about that, but let's see.
Common contemporary allegory. This one's tough. This one's really tough. I mean, I have an idea. You go if you have something.
I think we'll get into this a little bit more when we get to In Brief Visitation. I'm really struck by this scene of the crowds saying, release Barbaros, this crazy murderer, and crucify Jesus. Like, we'll do a trade.
Yeah.
There seems to be in our society right now this tendency to want to scapegoat people. To say, oh, you know what? These drag queens who are going around really saying that people should have a good time and love each other, oh, they need to be banned. They need to be punished.
Yeah.
And if somebody goes and shoots up the place, like, oh, well, you know, it's the mental illness. We just really, you know, it's like the ethics are totally flipped on their heads. And
Yeah.
this is a great example of that, where it's like, okay, yeah, this guy going around saying, hey, maybe we should focus on spirituality instead of taxes.
And
Like,
loving
kill
people and
him.
Yeah. That wild point of view. Yeah. That's really apt. That's really appropriate. It's really depressing, but it's really appropriate. It really
Thank
works.
you.
Yeah.
What was
My
yours?
treat.
What's your liaison there?
Just the idea of present day Christian belief is, I think that there's this level of you go to church on Sunday because you have to go to church on Sunday. Halfway through your weekend, you have to go to church. When Saturday's gone, it's time to go to church. So you're like,
Where did Saturday go?
Where did Saturday go?
Yeah.
And then you obligatorily go to church to worship the guy who was up on the cross for you, but it's a chore for you to go to church. Maybe, I don't know, but it also has maybe a little tie-in with the Easter Church Catholic as well. The people who just go on those because those are the big ones. Because this is Easter.
Right.
When Jesus laid a chocolate egg and a bunny came with jelly beans.
My barber, my hairdresser, my stylist said that the week before Easter, she has more like one-time men coming in for haircuts than any other time during the year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, yeah, because they're all showing up in church for the first time in a year.
Yeah. They take off the sweatpants and put on the slacks.
What do we do with our doubt, where we doubt that death is final, where we doubt that the Romans were able to kill the bringer of peace?
What do we do with it? I'm not sure what you're looking for. I'm not sure the answer to what you're looking for.
I don't know either. I'm fascinated by doubt. And I think that in some ways, I hear Christians talk a lot about faith. Oh, you have to faith. You have to have faith. You have to believe this stuff. But I think that this doubt, this original doubt, is kind of the origin of faith. And I think that they go hand in hand.
Well, sure. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Because they don't really know what happened. They didn't, in that moment, see him ascend. They didn't see him get up and roll the rock away.
Yeah, he's just gone.
Let's see. And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the woman had said. But him they saw not.
Yeah, I saw empty cave. So then they just have to think like, well, I guess maybe he was the Son of God, and we should start being good now. Maybe.
It's interesting.
Or the Romans thought, oh, the dogs got it.
As they're walking back the town, and it came to pass while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another as you walk and are sad? So they don't even recognize him. He's literally there walking with him. He basically says, like, aren't you aware that he's entered into this other place? And then he said to them, O fools, and slow of heart to believe that all the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory?
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Interesting stuff, and we have a little bit more of that doubt in the upcoming song, Three Loves Three.
But where did Saturday go? Where did Saturday go?
So we know what we're talking about next week. Track 10 of 12, 3 Loves 3. Oh, that would be really good if that were 9, though. It'd just be really satisfying. It's not, because when 3 and 3 love each other, they make a little 9.
Until next week, if you find that the empty sun on an empty hill is beating on your scalp, why don't you get yourself a branded Talk Tall to Me ball cap, which can keep the rays of the deadly sunbeams off of your fair, translucent exterior.
I don't want to hear silent screams of praise. I want them to be audible and 5-star worthy. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, write it on a bus stop. I don't care. Let people know about Talk Tall to Me, please.
You know what's savagely, wickedly entertaining? Our Discord chat. So much great stuff goes on in there, and it's accessible for only $5 American a month.
Correct.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto the Momes what is the Momes, and that's $5.
Or 15, and you get to see the video version of our podcast, including the feckless. I'm starting to do those for videos and some other special stuff. Just throwing it in there. For so many videos a month, it's ridiculous.
And my hair, really, I do put in effort for this video. My hair is well coiffed today.
And you get to see my suspenders.
Oh, do you ever?
Baby, nothing but suspenders.
Until next week, I'm a one-way donkey ride, Omen Thomas Sade.
I had one of those in college once. Not doing it again. I'm silently shrill, Nick McGill.
Together we are the high-flying dreams that crash to earth, the feckless momes.
And this is our nostrum. Talk tell to me.
Quite unmissable. Bing bong. Welcome to the Easter Beings Convention. Everyone please put on your name tags. The conference will begin in 5 minutes.
Yes, I'm looking for the name tag for Jesus. Do you have Jesus?
Jesus! Boing, boing, boing.
Oh, God. Oh, me.
Jesus! Do you remember me?
Hey, Easter Bunny. I do remember you, yeah.
Isn't it great that we're both part of the same holiday?
I mean, it is a true delight to share the limelight with you.
Watch this! I'm a mammal. A fresh chocolate egg just for you.
Thank you. I'll save that for later. So, how's Easter been? You know, I mean, I see a lot of egg coloring kits on the shelves, fewer crucifixes, but
I gotta tell you, Jesus, I'm absolutely slammed. I don't have a minute to poop in a basket of grass. I barely have time to nibble a carrot. I'm absolutely wall to window, just decimated with appointments and appearances. Don't get me started about the appearances.
you know, Santa has like helpers, right? No one expects you to do it all.
Tell that to my agent.
I mean, that's valid. You probably need to get rid of Morty. I'm not gonna lie, he's a bit of a scoundrel.
You know, Jesus, I don't know if how your schedule is these days, but I have a suit. If you ever want to get in on the fun, go down to the local mall and children will sit on your lap. They're mostly confused. It's really for the parents to take photos, but look, another chocolate egg.
Yeah, thank you for the offer, but you know, Catholic Church, kids sitting on laps, I try to keep away from that for now. We're trying to let that kind of die down a little bit. And I'm busy, you know, I'm doing miracles. I put my face on toast. I make a couple of statues cry. Plenty of prayers to answer. Plenty of prayers to not answer.
So great for you. I'm glad that you're keeping busy. It's so hard to stay relevant these days. I was just saying that to Philip down at the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh, yeah.
He's a balloon.
Yeah. I assumed, yeah.
I danced with the Rockettes.
Very bold move to try to work your way into the Christmas thing, you know? You get in on Christmas, you encroach. That's nice. I like that. I think that's a good move. I mean, I already have Christmas. Not gonna say that I can't share.
I just heard some rumors that you know you had some free time. It's cool. It must be nice.
That's a little harsh. I'm a little sensitive about that. It is my birthday on Christmas. Everybody gets presents, but me. So, I mean, yeah, I am a little sensitive. You know what? You can have Christmas. Fine. If that's how you want to talk about it, fine. Whatever. How's Martha doing? I know you guys had a little rough patch last time we talked. She was hitting the jelly beans pretty hard. I do hope that she got help.
Still popping out kids, left and right.
I mean...
You know what they say.
Like bunnies.
Ding dong! Hello, it is me, the French winged belle of Easter! Ho ho! Bing bong!
Oh, the winged bells of Easter.
Hey, Easter bunny, hey, man with beard, what's up? It's so cool.
You sound vaguely Hispanic.
I just got back from Italy, I don't know.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, hi, bells of Easter. Talking about not relevant, right, Easter bunny?
You know, I was just talking to the Pope, and you know what he said to me?
What's that? What did he say?
He said, parlate tal mio, es un fiera memburto de la Peckless Poems Audio Network.
Yeah, I never learned Italian.